Yes, here we are. All right, so welcome back to the Coffee Talks with my lovely co-host, Ciara Dimu.
Hi, baby.
Hi, my love.
Welcome back.
Why don't you show the peeps those beautiful flowers I got you? Because we have an exciting announcement today. And I'm going to announce that Dr. Ciara Dimu is a doctor. Officially.
Thank you. Yes. Officially as of last Monday.
That's amazing, babe. But how do you feel about that?
I feel relieved. Yeah. That I can watch TV in peace without it hanging over my head.
Yeah, because then you feel like you should be like studying.
Yes, but I also realized that when I went back to school to get my doctorate, how much time I actually did have in the day because I squeezed out a doctorate degree. So how much...
So no excuses.
Right.
Yeah. So there are, in fact, a lot of hours in the day to accomplish what you set your mind to.
Yeah, it is what you make of it and how bad you want something. But
there are a tremendous amount of hours during the day.
Yes, so it depends what you make of it. But
No excuses, play like a champion.
Yeah. I thought you were going to say congratulations on my pregnancy because everybody is saying that to me.
So let's just set the record straight here. I just want to clear the air. So as you know, being a same-sex couple, the pregnancy process isn't as easy as, stick it in the hole, hope we impregnate her,
We're
just actively getting familiar with the process.
We just started, so there's definitely...
It's very in-depth and complex, I will say. A lot of moving parts.
Yes, and we'll know more tomorrow, but,
I just want to highlight one thing.
We're doing it at... Gabby's egg will be in me, and then vice versa
because these genes need to be seen and reproduced.
But that way it feels like... And it is like you're mixing two sets of DNA so you both feel connected to the baby.
So it really does feel like I'm the dad and she's the mom. That makes sense.
Two moms, mom and mom.
No, I know, but like the normal pregnancy is like dad and mom.
How is Massimo going to differentiate between us? Are you going to be, am I going to be mom and you're going to be mommy?
I'm going to be Ma.
Ma. Okay.
Ma's house.
And I'm going to be mummy.
Mummy.
Yes.
Mummy.
I'll be mummy.
No, so...
Mummy material.
Mummy material. So I will say during the holiday season, we've been around a lot of family, my nieces and nephews. Our friends are...
Was that birth control or was that...
No. So that was we were practicing unsafe sex during that time period, right? Because we're like, we definitely want to have a kid, etc. I will tell you, the turning point was, for me, Diplo.
Okay.
And Miami. When we came back from Miami, I was like, I'm not sure that I'm motherly material at this point in time.
Well, it just depends on
Massey's mother at this point in time.
You're younger than me.
I would like to be Diplo's side piece.
Well, unfortunately, that's not in the cards for you, okay?
Really, honey? Because you wanted to be on the backstage with Diplo.
You couldn't even see me over the stage.
I love Diplo.
You're obsessed.
I'm obsessed. But, so it was Taylor Swift and now it's Diplo. And Major Lazer. I can't stop listening to tech music. We'll talk about Diplo.
But it just depends on like where you're at in life. But there's a lot of steps for us, so it gives us time.
Yeah. So, and the good news is that
they have to. At
this point in time, if we're going to share with the people that during our pregnancy process, Mossy at this point in time is on ice.
Yes,
he has been ordered. However, he will be in the freezer until further notice. That is all we will say about that.
He's chilling on the rocks right now. But
Mossy on ice.
Mossy on the rocks. But at any point in time, we may be moving forward, but they have to extract your eggs. So they have to get you ready to basically you would take IVF meds to get your eggs like on steroids, ready to go. Then they're going to do that for me too. Take mine, freeze them later for you. We need to freeze my eggs ASAP because I'm older. Although she said my egg quality was better than yours.
Yes, she did say that. But as we know that, you never know until you try.
Yeah. So there's just a lot of steps.
A lot of moving parts, but we're not ready to talk about it any longer or further at this point in time. At this point in time, we're going to talk about Diplo. And I will say that I fucking love Diplo, but he's definitely, I think he's gay a little bit. I just do.
Yeah, that's probably why you like him.
He was like, You know how
Okay.
gay guys do that face? The duck face? Like he was doing that the whole time
feel like you
while
do that
staring at me.
face. You are.
So
You are unwell today.
Mossy on the rocks.
Okay. So, but I've had some questions lately that were like, well, how did you meet Gabby?
I feel like we've told the story over and over again, and it's not my problem if the crowd is not listening.
Okay. No, I don't think we've ever told this full story. You just like repeat segments.
Okay, fine.
Because I think that people are.
Let's just get into the nitty gritty. That was a very dark period during my life, so sometimes I don't like to really relive the trauma.
True.
Did we have a trauma bond?
There's trauma every day with you.
We battled through something every day.
Mostly mental illness. Well, I think that the people want to know.
The full story.
Well, I was always dating guys.
So then when you presented this massive rock to a female, the world was shook. You created like a fucking earthquake in this community. Within the Merrimack Valley, the earthquake.
But I think it's okay. So I had always dated guys my whole life, and then but was always
Weren't you
trying
engaged to one?
Yes, for a long time, 10 years. But I was always trying to bring girls into the relationship.
That relationship as well?
Yeah, all of them. And then one I did, not with that one, but afterwards I did when I was in another
Toxicity relationship.
bad relationship, but I did bring girls in, and then I was like, and then I started dating another girl on and off for about a year. And then I had met you actually when I was dating a guy. We met at a pool party.
No,
And I
that's
remember
not how we met.
I said to the guy that I was dating, who is that girl? She's so loud. But I was like kind of like mesmerized by you. Like I think you were on like a lot of Adderall. And so you were like
Who was this species? Who was that
I was
organism swimming in the pool?
mesmerized by you. And then
A lot of people are.
Yeah.
I think they're just like, what is...
Well, I mean, no.
How I...
Yeah, you just seemed so confident and beautiful.
Beautiful.
And I was just
Confident. Is all
enthralled
I...
by you. And then
Enamored.
fast forward 4 months later, we didn't talk or anything after that. And then fast forward into January of 2021, where I met you at Lafina. I was at a business meeting and you were out with your business peeps.
Yes.
Is the story boring you?
No, I just had to, my neck was feeling tight because I fell on ice yesterday.
Okay.
I did. So, yes, to retract.
Yeah.
The pool party. I know we physically did meet there, but I wasn't in my brain at the time in a very happy relationship. When Cece walked in fact, she was like everything I didn't really go for. Like she had like the fake eyelashes.
I never had fake eyelashes.
You did at one point.
I never had fake
boobs,
eyelashes.
the long nails, and those are like the girls that I never ever resonated with in high school or college. Like in fact, I was like, I don't know if I was intimidated, but I just didn't have anything in common with them because I was like the tomboy,
Athlete?
jock athlete, and I just didn't, care about having my nails done ever. When we first
Really,
met, I
honey?
never
Because now you can't have one chip nail.
truth. But that's wicked funny. Because I never had my nails done. If you look at old photos of when we first started dating, my nails were never done. And now I really can't go with they always have to be done. But it's more so per
Presentation
for work in the ring. So we met at the pool party, and I just noted her. She had on her thong, her boobs were out, and she had on these see-through beach pants. And I was like, okay, maybe I'm not dressed the part. I was this classy little conservative girl. And this woman's shaking that ass. And I'm like, okay, where am I? Okay, so that is when we first met. Then that was in July. And then...
August. Beginning of August.
And then I became really good friends with this girl from work who's my best friend / sister. And she was really good friends with you. And then one time I was shooting the shit with her, and I was like, because Cece and I at that point have been in the same setting because we had mutual friends. So like we talked and stuff, and I knew Cece like at that point was like entertaining like women and stuff. But again, I never really thought she was like a lesbian. In fact, as someone that was in a full gay relationship and at this point only dated women, bi girls are the most dangerous girls to ever.
Why are you guys always worried about bi girls?
We'll talk about that. So anyway, Cece and I were in the same setting at various points. We would communicate and stuff and chat and have conversation, but nothing like crazy. But one time I was with my friend at the time and I was like, I think your friend Cece has a thing for me. And she was like, you're wild and crazy. Because I was like cocky. This is when I was first starting to grow into myself, making money. I was looking good, dressing good, etc. And I was like, nah, she likes me. I know it. And this woman probably, Cece and I we haven't had a word exchange more than like 15 words. But I was like, nope, I can feel the vibe. She likes me. My friend's like, she's a doctor. She owns her own business. She wants nothing to do with you. Quote, unquote, dead ass. And so I was like, nope, she does. I was like, watch, invite her to dinner. We went to dinner and it was me, my ex at the time, Cece. We were at dinner and for some reason there was a weird fucking vibe with Cece. Like, I swear she was like, I fucking mean. Like, I was getting nervous. Like, I honestly felt like I was on, like, a date. I was like, my God, like, why am I sweating, like, nervous? Like, I'm with my girlfriend at the time. I'm with, like, my best friend. Like, why, like, am I feeling, like, all, like, hot and bothered?
Hot and bothered.
So, and I knew she could, and I'm a big vibe person. I can read energy. So I knew she was feeling the same. So it was funny because behind us was a table of 8 or 12 men. They were all there for a guy's night out, and they were handsome as fuck. And they were sitting right behind Cece, like this close. Right?
Yeah, it was like very tight quarters.
Table. So we are like a pretty table of like 4. So they are obviously like staring and trying to get our attention. So in my brain, Cece went to go to the bathroom or like to the bar or something, and the guys were trying to talk to her. But in my brain, they were talking to Nicole, I think, at the time. They were trying to talk to you, but you got up. And then I was like, if Cece like turns around or like on her way back talks to these people in my brain, I was like, I'm done. Because if she's entertaining like male energy, like as a bi girl, like I know she's been with men and was engaged to a guy at the time, and she just like...
Well, not at the time, in the past.
Yeah, you were entertaining female. You were at that point in time with men. And you would like hook up with women. But emotionally, you were more with men.
True.
And so I was like, if she flirts or gives these guys that type of attention, then I'm done. But she didn't even look that way. She walked right by them and legit kept her eyes on me. I'm like, okay. So now I'm all fucked up. I wish she did turn around and talk to him because I would have like wrote you off.
But here we are, married.
But here we are.
Honey, we're married.
So we're married. So, okay, so now, wait, this story gets so good. I actually like love this story, to be honest. So that's that. So my car is parked outside, and Cece, I don't like the skirt and like long jacket. So we leave dinner, and she's like in the middle of the road, and I was like, "Do you want to ride?" And she like twirls, and she's like, "No." And like her dress like did a twirl thing. I just remember it. And you're like, "I'll walk," or whatever. You were like so close to home because I didn't realize how close you lived to downtown. And so then the next day. That was that. The next day, I would call my friend every morning at like 7 a.m. on the way to the office. And I was like, dude, I'm telling you, like, she likes me. Like, there's no way. She likes me. She has a thing for me. Like, I felt the energy. She's like, you're crazy. Again. And then I was like, oh my God, Cece's in front of me. So I was going to get my coffee at Starbucks before I went into the office, and Cece was walking out, and I was so hungover, you know, when you have like fog brain like the next day from like drinking and stuff, and you're nervous to see someone, your brain's just like not coming up with the words to talk. Cece comes up to my car, and she's like, did you get a coffee? And I was like, yeah, I did mobile order. She's like, oh, I'll go get it for you, and like prances around with like her hot like yoga pants. So she comes out and brings me the coffee. But there were 2 and she only brought 1. So then when she left, I like didn't have the heart to tell her like I ordered 2 coffees. So then she like just grabbed 1 and then left, and then I waited for her to drive away, and then I went back in to grab the other coffee that you negated. Okay. So do you want to add anything to that phase of the story?
Yeah, no, I remember I saw your car and I thought you were so cool with your would you have like a white
Jaguar.
E-Pace?
It was the dopest car.
And then
my red Canada Goose jacket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, she's so cool.
Yeah.
And I was
She's
nervous.
hot to trot.
I was nervous.
We were both nervous. Hence why you grabbed 1 coffee.
Yeah, I
Like, you didn't see the other one that said Gabrielle?
was nervous.
Okay, so that's my point of view on the dinner. Now, genuinely tell the people what your point of view was on that.
So my point of view on the dinner was that our mutual friend was like very persistent that I come to this dinner. And I was like, all right.
I was hounding her. I was like, every day, I was like, make sure
now it
she's
makes-
at that dinner.
it makes
Dude,
sense.
It was hilarious.
So I was like, all right, I'm coming to the dinner. And then,
I can't.
So-
I remember that.
I mean, at this point, I like literally lived at La Fina. So it was like just going to my second home for dinner. And I came to the dinner and then I just remember like everything you said. I don't necessarily remember if I fucking
Come
you.
on, bro. You know
Or
it.
if that's just how I look at people.
That is the truth. She does have that fucking like eye glare that like can either like turn you on or like scare the fuck out of you. One or the two.
Typically, my employees feel the second one.
Exactly.
But you get
Unless it's Katie.
you get the best of
Unless
both worlds.
it's Katie.
Okay.
You be fucking.
And I just remember, like, yeah, you were so cute at the dinner, and I just liked you. But you were, you know,
A doe.
a doe, yeah, a little doe,
Show the peeps. Be doing.
a doe. And I just knew that you were the one, so I was willing to wait for, you know, your
I didn't at that time.
I know, but I knew.
You
for
knew
your
the both of us. You had the
scenario.
strength to carry us through.
That's why I was very
dark
patient
times.
with your situation.
So
Yeah, it took
Okay,
6
so-
months, but here we are.
it did take legit 6 months.
But I was very patient and I understood the situation, but I just knew that either way you were coming back to me.
That's some serious manifestation / confidence /
Well, I think that like my friends and family were like skeptical because like, is she really going to leave her relationship? Like,
Am I stringing you along?
yeah, like, is she stringing you along? Like, don't be like, you know, just be mindful of that and like just looking out for me. But like I met Gabby at a really good time in my life where I was really like, I had my condo, I had my business, and I was really secure and confident, and I was fine being alone.
You were so fine being alone.
I wasn't looking for a relationship. I was single. I stopped dating that other guy in November, so I was single before I even like Gabby and I really started. And
And that's like the best thing
Yeah.
is when you're dating someone who is genuinely okay with being alone and she chooses you. Like that made me so drawn to you.
but like for the like in terms of like the girl aspect, I didn't like saying that I was dating a girl. I think that I really struggled with that more so in the previous on-off relationship that I was at, which is, you know, probably like led into a lot of issues. But when I met Gabby, I just knew she was the one. So I was much more confident saying it and just being like, this is how I feel. There was no change in it. So it was like, it is what it
Yeah.
is. But I didn't really think of it like,
Do you feel like that was the first time in your life that you really were like, I feel like, and I feel like your friends can attest, like you were like different from me. Like you had more patience for me, tolerance for me, more like stuff you wouldn't tolerate in a other relationship.
yeah, because I loved you.
Yeah.
Yeah, genuinely.
From like the start.
Yes.
Like, there was no hiding it. She was
Yes.
fucking
Oh
in
my
deep.
God. Remember when you came for the Valentine's
She was
Day?
down bad.
When we were at my old place and she came for the Valentine's Day
God.
SkinCeuticals event, and Kate was like, why are you acting weird?
And then I
was like,
walked in and she had on, Cece at one point in time didn't wear like nipple covers. So like her
Okay.
tits would be like this. And like I walked in and she had like her white doctor coat on. She's like,
Kate was like,
doing?
Kate was making fun of me because I was so nervous that you were coming.
I know, I was so nervous too. Like I always had to drink around Cece at first. Like I was so
For, like, a
intimidated.
year.
Dude, like I would sweat, like turn red. Like it wasn't good. I honestly like didn't turn my, like was able to like be fully like myself until like when we got married.
Okay. So last year, well, I just knew you were the one. So, I mean, I moved along very quickly, just patiently waiting for you. So I I started to buy your
Okay,
ring.
so wait, time out. So we get through like the first year of hardship, which again, I had a lot of bad traits at this time. Like I had zero emotional control. Like,
Yes.
At all. Like, and I was going through a lot. Like, so some part of me, like, because I felt like so much guilt for like my last relationship. Like the guilt I felt was brutal, and so therefore that feeling that hurt me, I projected and resented you for it. Like, so I had like anger and hatred towards you because like ultimately like, you were the root of like all these like this entire like catastrophe. Like my life was just fine. And then if I and my family was so nervous for me because if you know Gabby, she can fuck up, what's the saying?
A good thing?
No, yeah, but you can fuck up like a high there's like something like on a silver platter. I don't know. You can just fuck up anything.
Yeah.
What's the saying, dude?
Okay, so anyways,
my No, because now I didn't get to finish that thought because you guys were so gung-ho on that saying.
Uh-huh.
So, anyways, my family was petrified because my life was fine. It was safe, secure.
Well, you were mentally stable.
They knew that I was with someone that loved me for me, which is very difficult. And they were like, if you know me, like I can fuck anything up, anything in the world. And so they thought that's what I was doing with my life. And so during that year, it was super, like my lack of emotional control was very concerning.
Yes, but
Ask my dad, the amount of cell phones I broke.
You worked really hard. You worked really hard on that with your therapist.
Super hard.
And me.
And you, because she didn't tolerate it. I had to change. And, it was all for the better. She challenged me. She challenged my bad habits. This is another thing. When you're looking for your life partner, it's so easy to date someone that accepts you for you. And sometimes those are your bad habits and they just tolerate them, right? Because you equate that to love and like they love you for you.
Yeah.
But sometimes in my brain, I think love, and this is just my thoughts. It's not the right way, but this is how I feel.
Yep.
I think love actually challenges you to be your best self. I think love makes you be your best self. Like I've grown so much as a better person. Like I have less anger issues. I break less cell phones. I don't punch holes in the walls because you made me face those bad habits and be like, you got to change those.
Yeah.
Whereas like some people think love is like someone that's going to love you through those.
Which goes back to my, you always had so much potential.
Exactly.
That you are now reaching.
Yeah.
Yep. Because I knew you had it in you. Or else I wouldn't have.
We're going and we're growing.
Or else I wouldn't have stuck around.
Yeah. You just like that you have a beautiful arm candy. I'm your arm candy.
Hun, you talk a lot for arm candy. If I wanted arm candy, I'd probably just choose someone that really doesn't talk that much.
You want arm candy?
Okay. So
that was the first year, but we got through it.
Second year was fun.
We just had like the time of, I have to say, like, I think my best years, and I said this before, but is like ages like 28.
Well, no, I think the best is yet to come.
Same, of course, but we had so much fun. Like,
yep. And then we got married last year.
We were like so in love, but we were best friends, and we just had so much fun together. And like,
so this year coming up in June, we'll be 4 years together.
And I think you knew I was the one because you get a different like person every day with me. And I think you're a lot like...
I get bored.
Yeah, guys had a tough time like keeping you around because you were fucking bored as fuck.
Yeah.
With like their missionary dumb like...
Okay.
Shit. And like... and so like with me, even though like our sex is consistent, it's different.
You have the right body parts.
Yeah.
So, and you have the right heart.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then,
a dough heart.
I bought your ring a year before I proposed to you.
It's fucked up. Like, I didn't ask for that. It's a lot of pressure for somebody.
Crazy lesbians.
Let's end that portion of the story there so we can give the audience some, a cliffhanger. Like, we'll get to the rest of the second chapter, the final chapter.
Okay.
We want to leave some to the imagination.
Yep. So, but Brennan wanted us to talk about like stereotypes or something.
Yeah.
Yes. I was almost going to be married to a man's.
Weird.
But for me though, it's just about like finding that connection with the person. And I just felt like the most connected to you. I think that like my biggest thing was if I even had a hesitation of potentially having like any divorce down the line, like it's one thing that like I really wanted to avoid. And just because I just think like growing up from a divorced family, that's just one thing that I really didn't want. But like something was just always missing for me. Like obviously it makes so much sense now, but I came out so much later in life. So it took a while for me to get there. Like I really kind of like, my life was supposed to be stable at age 28, and that's kind of when I turned my life upside down to figure out what was missing. You know,
Yeah, you did turn your life upside down too.
I turned everything upside down. And
Well, do you want to talk about that part? Because we went through mine. So I feel like we both had a similar story. Because you're 6 years older than me, yours came obviously before mine. So that's why you also had patience for me, because you understood and went through it yourself. Yeah. But you were in...
I've lived a lot of lives.
Yeah, but talk about actually how you were in your stable relationship with someone that you would have got married, had babies, never probably had to work a day in your life. Then you decided to, F that up, which rightfully so. And then talk about your actions after that, and then how you got back to that.
Well, I was in a stable relationship for 10 years. So from age 17 to age 27. And then I felt like when I got my nurse practitioner degree, and this person had supported me all through school. This person had a huge influence on who I am today and gave nothing but support, which obviously I'm so appreciative of. And I could have just went on my merry way and got married and had kids and probably never had to work a day in my life. But I felt like something was still missing within inside me. And
which is weird, because every girl wants that.
But does every girl want that?
Well, they think they do, because per society.
Yeah.
Makes them feel that way.
I think, yes. I think society puts a lot of pressure on women to get married by a certain age, have babies by a certain age.
I think that's changing
work,
as we
don't
speak.
work. No matter what, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. But as a woman, for me, I just felt like something, I had to figure it out. So I left that relationship and then there's obviously other things that happened afterwards that I didn't even know what self-awareness was. I didn't know what any of that was. You guys see how I am now, but I had no idea what that was. It took me years to figure that out. So at age 27,
yeah, I know.
28.
At your age, Brenda, I did not know self-awareness.
I had no idea what that was.
I shall be easier on Brenda. It's terrible.
And
I expect a lot from Brenda at such a young age.
So,
and I also have questions if you went gay because of your poor experience with men, which was something I worried about, because I don't want to be the backup plan.
I think
because
that
they dropped the ball
that
per usual.
There's a misconception that that girl's a lesbian because she was hurt by men, which I can see that being a thing, but obviously I think that you're craving some sort of emotional connection, but I think I have the emotions of a man, so I don't think that's really true.
Which is very, it offers a lot of confusion to me, because we had this conversation the other day, is that I am gay because I am an emotional being that likes to connect emotionally with people. And that's why I would say I'm gay, because women naturally are more emotional. So that's why I just connect better with a woman. Men don't have that level of emotion that a woman does. And for whatever reason, this woman right here lacks that emotional.
I just think that you have enough emotions for both of us, and you just keep me on my toes with that, where you
turn it on when you need to. We'll just,
yes.
You're not
yeah.
to the outside world, and I thought Cece has no emotion, doesn't give a fuck. But for the people, just actually, that's why I also love you and feel so special by you, is because I actually feel like you only have that emotion for dough, genuinely.
So I left that relationship.
Can we talk about why you left that relationship?
I'm trying to. So I left that relationship. Some traumatic things happened afterwards.
Traumatic.
Which sent me into a tailspin because I didn't understand how to process those emotions. And I didn't I didn't go to therapy, I didn't do any of that. But looking back, did I leave because of my sexuality? No, I just knew at the time something was missing. And then I was always trying to bring girls into the relationship.
Into that relationship?
Yes. No, we didn't. I tried.
Oh.
I was just an idea at some point.
I would never do anything to appease a man.
Yes. Okay. It was
not really
no, because I wanted
irks me.
I wanted it. And to be fair, when I told this person that I was dating a girl and that I was a lesbian, he said, "I'm not surprised." Because he knew all along.
Did he catch you watching girl porn?
What?
Did I think about? But maybe that was another girlfriend of mine.
Can you not interrupt me?
I saw
for 5 minutes.
I saw. Okay, carry on.
So after traumatic set events, I went into this completely toxic, traumatic relationship for 3 years. And through that led me, living paycheck to paycheck, trying to figure out how I was
Drugs,
going
sex, and rock and roll.
survive. I ended up just going to this Botox party. And that's like,
What saved your life?
exactly. But like how, it's so funny how when you look, rejection is God's protection, because the things that didn't work out for you now have led to think why things are working out how they are now. And I went through a lot of therapy, and I really went through, learned how to deal with my emotions and become self-aware and take responsibility and accountability for the parts that I had in those relationships failing, and just to be a better person. And then by the time I met you, I was good to go.
Can I comment on, how some people see, this is why I think you're like so successful, and we talk about this all the time. You need to make sure your why aligns with the right reasons, like why you do what you do, and it has to be for the right reasons. I think that a lot of people see your success and they're like, oh, I want to open up a med spa or do Botox, because obviously on the other end is like the money. That's where like the money is. So then therefore they're like chasing the wrong thing. But I think for you, it was never like, I'm going to do Botox because I'm going to get like rich and do X, Y, and Z. In fact, you fell into it. It just fell onto your lap.
Yeah.
And you did it for the right reasons, which was like, it was kind of like your outlet to
I just
like
wanted to help.
escape and like,
After feeling so not confident about myself and going through that trauma, I wanted to help women feel like the best version of themselves, and to help make them, like, maybe a part of them was broken, to help make them whole.
yeah.
And that
so
was
it became like your like pastime, like hobby, like you
really
were
what
looking
my
forward to,
passion
like,
was.
those like Botox parties to like
Yeah.
go there and have that outlet to help people after feeling like so like down.
Yeah.
So I think that is where your why came and stemmed from, which is why you've had tremendous success, because you were chasing the right things opposed to like the wrong things. Because like sometimes people are like, I want to get into real estate because like look at like X, Y, and Z, like they're making all this money and like traveling the world. I'm gonna do real estate.
Yes. So when I fell into this, I was in a really tough spot in my life, and like, everything around me was falling apart. But this Botox business seemed to be, like you said, my outlet of restoring confidence in other women, but then also for myself.
on you.
Like, it just, when you start to feel better about how you look, you project yourself differently to the world. So I gained a little bit more confidence. I started working out more. I just like literally stopped caring about everyone else's feelings and just focused on myself. Like, so if you're in a relationship and like that person's in a mood and then you're in a mood, like you have to like let them be in the mood, like the let them theory. Like I really started implementing that. Obviously this was years ago before I
knew about that theory.
I even knew about that theory, but like, they're in a bad mood. Okay, let them. That's not going to change my workout. It's not going to change
response.
how I take care of myself. You just started really taking care of myself, started exercising more, lifting weights, resistance training, and Botox probably saved my life in more ways than one. And I saved money. I started just taking better care of myself. I felt like I looked better. I was making decisions for myself and not letting anyone affect those decisions. Like, oh, don't do that, or you don't need that, or
You put yourself first.
yeah,
after
or
all
getting
this
in a
time.
fight because somebody thought that I did or didn't need something. Like I was in charge of myself.
Sometimes I feel like you do have to hit rock bottom.
Yeah.
Once you hit rock bottom, like you're like, all right, that's
Yeah.
like the turning point
Yeah,
for anybody.
they'll look good.
That's why you love the confidence.
They'll look
aspect of the
good,
business.
feel good. Really, I embodied it and I lived it. And
You did
so
live
that's why I'm so like, and when I first started, I had one patient in particular that came to me, and she was in a very like similar situation. And she'll know who I'm talking about when I say, when I tell this story, but like the sadness in her eyes and how she changed over time just by doing a little bit, skincare, a little bit of Botox, a little filler here, like just these things to make her feel better. She like slowly regained her confidence, got the confidence to get out of a bad relationship and start taking control of her life. So it's like, yeah, maybe it is just Botox, but you don't know how that's going to affect and catalyze someone's change in their life.
Well, I just think
Like
that,
I could be the change.
yeah, I just think like you see people that like, I don't know, like take the Ozempic and drop like 50 pounds and like they're like a different person, because I do think that like it all stems from, if you feel good about yourself and like love who you are and who you're becoming, that is like the energy that you like radiate off into other
Exactly.
people.
It's contagious.
How can you like want to help other people if you can't even like help yourself and you don't feel good about yourself?
Right, exactly. So when
It's like
you,
I'm sure those
when
Botox
you're-
parties every time got like easier and easier. Or
when
like
you
more
are like when you are the best version of yourself, you're a better mom, a better daughter, a
that
better
goes back to
sister,
our
a better friend.
belief Ubuntu.
Uba.
Remember, we watched a movie, documentary. I think it was Doc Rivers. He has a coaching
Theory.
It's called.
It's on the Veins
Ubuntu.
website.
And basically, what that means is that like
I'm all I can be because of all you can be.
So basically, if I want to be the best real estate agent here in, like, let's just say Andover, then I have to want the other agents to be their best self as well. I want them to be their best self, because how can I be my best self if you're not your best self?
And that's why it's community over competition.
Hell motherfucking yeah. Drop the mic, on to the next. Lock it up. Let's go. I have work.
I can't.
If you're, like woman or men, then please reach out. We're happy to have a conversation.
Questions,
about
concerns,
how to navigate
or something else that you want to hear more about or want us to talk more about.
If you
please
want tips on the game,
let us know.
how to,
Hun, you have no game.
lock up the baddest bitch. Call me, slide in the DMs.
Mm-hmm.
But I will say, which God's plan, I would have never ever been able to landed CC ever if I was in a relationship, because that allowed me not to be my crazy, clingy, harassing, obsessive
Self.
Because I was in a full-blown loving relationship. I was able to create distance and always want her yearning for more.
Yep.
So my point is
So good night.
my
Wrap it
point
up, honey.
in
Wrap it
that
up.
is that sometimes you do have to step out
No.
and
Just follow your heart.
well, I'm saying, like, sometimes you
Just
might
follow
need
your
that.
heart.
Sometimes you might need that buffer. And what I mean by buffer is, if you're in a relationship with someone else, it's okay to go look for someone else at the same time.
I don't think that's the message we're trying to get across.
All right, I'm kidding. Happy Valentine's Day.
Go to bed, please.
All right, that's it.
Bye.
Deuces.